In Russia, now at least 12 people have been injured in a drone strike that hit the region of Tatarstan. Ukraine claimed responsibility for that attack as military intelligence said the strike caused significant destruction of production facilities. According to officials, two unmanned aerial vehicles hit the Elabuga dormitory used by workers in the area. Tatarstan leader Rostam Manikhanov said Elabuga and nearby cities came under drone attacks, adding that no serious damage was inflicted by the kamikaze aircraft. The region, which is located some 650 kilometers east of Moscow, is home to more than 20 firms, including chemical and mechanical engineering, and has not been directly impacted by the Ukraine conflict. Meanwhile, the United States is stressing the importance for Congress to pass bipartisan support for Ukraine as soon as possible. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre said Ukraine has seen numerous shellings in the past week and losing its ground in front line. She indicated that Ukraine cannot afford any more delays as it needs aid urgently.
Is the president open to... We believe that the Speaker were to put the National Security Supplemental on the floor, obviously includes Ukraine, humanitarian aid, Israel, and the Indo-Pacific. We believe, and it is fact, that it would get majority bipartisan support on the floor in the House. We saw 70 to 29. It passed out of the Senate. Bipartisan support, overwhelming bipartisan support. We believe it would get overwhelming bipartisan support if he would put it on the floor. That's all he needs to do. And so that's what we believe the Speaker, how it should be moved forward. I'm just not going to get into hypotheticals. Go ahead. As we said repeatedly, the House needs to pass the bipartisan national security supplemental. I've been saying that. It was the first thing I said when I came to the podium, one of the first things. And we want to see that as soon as possible. We know it would get bipartisan support overwhelmingly if it were to go to the floor in the House. That's what we want to see. As I stated, it's already passed the Senate, 70-29. So it's important to move forward. And we've also talked about, Jake Sullivan has talked about, my National Security Council colleague has talked about this as well, is that Ukraine can't afford any more delays. We have seen what's been happening the past several weeks, the past several months in Ukraine. They are losing ground on the battlefield. We want to make sure that National Security Supplemental is moved forward. It could get bipartisan support. We know it will. We know it would get overwhelming support if they put it on the floor, right? And Congress's inaction has led to Ukraine losing footing in the battlefield. That's what we've seen. That's what we've seen. And so Congress needs to act. It is in order to actually deal with this, in order to give Ukrainians what they need, the brave Ukrainians on the ground what they need.
Speaking of aid, Republican Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has a plan for getting new military assistance for Ukraine approved by Congress and for keeping his tenuous hold on power. With Democrats wary and a Republican right flank eye-opening rebellion, however, Mr. Johnson may find that even the best-laid plans could quickly unravel. The Louisiana congressman told the media he would push the House, which has the narrowest Republican majorities, to structure new Ukraine support in the form of loans. To help cover the cost, he suggested authorizing the U.S. government to seize and sell Russian assets frozen since the start of the Ukraine war. Johnson said if we can use the seized assets of Russian oligarchs to allow the Ukrainians to fight them, that's just pure poetry. An estimated $300 billion in Russian central bank assets have been frozen, although most of this is under European and not American control. As an additional sweetener for his Republican colleagues, he has proposed tying the passage of Ukraine aid to legislation ending a hold on new liquefied natural gas export authorizations. The hold was imposed by the Biden administration in January at the behest of environmental activists.